Spoiler warning time. Thanks to Snap.fan, we have a look at January season for Marvel Snap. There's some updates for the December season as well, which, if you remember, is a Weapon X themed season. But yes, we have info on the January season. Now, this is datamined info, so it's all subject to change until it's officially announced, right? And even then, it's subject to change. But take it with a grain of salt. But at the very least, this gives us an idea of what we can expect coming up in January, as well as revisions to December cards too. There's also a tease for February as well. We've got to look at what's coming for February too. But for January, dragons. Specifically, Kunlun dragon themed season pass. Right, we'll get to the Kunlun section of it. But we have Xiaolao the Undying, who is the dragon that bestows his power to those that prove themselves worthy, and they become Iron Fist, the defender of Kunlun. We also have the Dragon of the Moon, who is an ancient demon who seeks to empower himself by feeding on the misery of mankind. So yes, and you might see a certain familiar dragon here and another certain familiar dragon here as well as some absolutely sick variants for Sauron and Stegron. So we get Fin Fang Foom and we get Lockheed. So yeah, so this is January 2026 season in Marvel Snap. It is a Kunlun / dragon themed season. The season pass card is Xiaolao the Undying. He is a 5/10 with, on reveal, give the last character you played +2 power for each turn you played 2 or more cards. That's pretty cool. Fits right into Athena deck, because Athena wants you to play 2 cards a turn. So that's really, really cool. And he's a 5/10. He's a big boy. So yes, the lore behind Xiaolao is that he is an ancient immortal dragon, hence the name the Undying. He's an immortal dragon that resides beneath the mystic city of Kunlun. People go to Kunlun, train to become a fighter, and if they are able to defeat Xiaolao in combat, he grants them his power in the form of a dragon-shaped brand on their chest, and it infuses them with the power of the Iron Fist, where they can summon focus their chi into their fist, so that it becomes a thing unto like iron, I believe the quote used to go. And then Xiaolao gets reborn, and the cycle continues on. So like each generation kind of has an Iron Fist. But yeah, a 5/10 big boy. Surtur will like him. And yeah, on reveal, give the last character you played +2 power for each turn you played 2 or more cards. And then there's a little indicator at the end to show, like, you know, how many cards you've played that turn. Super cool. And it looks like the premium season pass card is the Dragon of the Moon. It's an ancient demon that seeks to empower itself by feeding on the misery and negativity and grief and all of that of mankind. And it sought to do that by corrupting the hero Moondragon, who was a very powerful telepath and also just happened to be Drax's daughter. Heather Douglas was her human name. She and her father, Arthur Douglas, which were traveling, had a random encounter with Thanos on Earth. Random encounter with Thanos. He didn't want any witnesses to the fact that he was on Earth, so he killed them. Thanos' father, Mentor, and his grandfather, Kronos, resurrected Drax in a new body crafted from the soil of the earth. And I believe Moondragon was resurrected by the ancient priests of Parma. So the Dragon of the Moon tried to corrupt Moondragon, but she and her fellow defenders, the team that she was on, managed to defeat him. But in Snap, he's a 3/2 with description on reveal. Steal 1 power from even costed cards in all hands. And again, they don't say both hands. Right? They say all hands. Are we getting 3 or 4 player Snap? Steal 1 power from even costed cards in all hands, not both hands, all hands. It's a very interesting, specific wording on this card. And we've seen it before. This wasn't the first card to have all hands instead of both hands. So I'm really thinking that we're going to get more than 2 player Snap at some point. Hence this, because you know how Snap is. You know that they are very specific with their wording, right? So it really makes me wonder that we're going to get like 2v2 Snap or something like that. That would be awesome, by the way. So yeah, so this appears to be the super premium season pass as evidenced by this title graphic. The week 1 Snap Pack card is the one and only Lockheed. Now, Lockheed is an alien dragon, an alien that looks like a dragon, looks like an earth dragon, from an alien race known as the Flock. They are mortal enemies of the Brood, the alien Brood. And Lockheed encountered the young mutant Kitty Pryde when the X-Men were fighting the Brood out in space. Lockheed saved Kitty from the Brood. And then Kitty adopted him and took him back to Earth with her. Lockheed does appear on quite a few Kitty Pryde variants. But yes, he's got his own card. And as I suspected, as I predicted, I said he was going to be an Afflict card. If you'll remember, last month when we did the data mines, and even before that, I said if Lockheed ever comes to Snap, I hope he's a card that does damage to enemy cards. So he's an Afflict card. When we speculated last month when he was first data mined with no abilities, that he could be an Afflict card. Sure enough, in Snap, he's a 2/1 with end of turn. If you played a 1-cost card this turn, afflict an enemy card here with -2 power. Which card do you know that costs 1 that would activate this end of turn ability? Oh, Kitty Pryde. So we get a Kitty Lockheed deck happening. They've actually given Lockheed synergy with Kitty. And that is absolutely freaking cool. I love that so much. I will absolutely be buying him day 1. And I will be playing him probably in a Kitty Pryde Thena deck with Shalao, because I'll also be getting the season pass. Fun fact, Lockheed is about the same size as your common house cat. But he is one of the most feared hunters of the Brood throughout the galaxy. Like, the Brood are terrified of Lockheed. Like, I'm sure Brood parents tell nightmare stories of Lockheed to their Brood children before the Brood children go to bed at night. Like, he's the Brood boogeyman. And yes, Kitty named him after the X-Men's jet, the Blackbird, which was manufactured by Lockheed Martin, US avionics company. So that's where he got his name. His real name has never been revealed. So yes, Lockheed is an Afflict card, and I am here for it. Yes, I'm an Afflict player come January, guys. Arnie Granov Kitty variant? I do. Hang on. Let's I'm pretty sure I do have that one. But I love the fact that, oh yeah, this is my favorite one. Look at that face. Look at that face. I love it so much. We got that one with Lockheed on. That one with Lockheed on. He's got a tux. He's got a goddamn tux. That's the Adi Granov wedding variant. But yeah, but I love my down hit one. Your friend forced his cat into a tux once? Lol. Goose versus Lockheed, who would win? Lockheed. You mean logistically? I don't care about logistically. If I was writing it, Lockheed. So yeah, I love the fact that they have made Lockheed a card that has synergy with Kitty. That's going to be my new favorite deck. That's an awesome first week for the season. Week 2. Oh wait, sorry. Also week 1 is a series 4, so this will be an event card. And it's a skill, Majestic Wing Beat. 1 cost. On reveal, give the leftmost card in your hand +2 power. If it's 5 cost or higher, -1 cost 2. So yeah, hell, this is going in a. I'm gonna try and fit this into a Galactus deck somehow. Because yeah, I'll have a -1 cost Galactus and +2 power, sure. Right, week 2. Week 2, Snap Pack card is Lin Lee, Iron Fist. Lin is the current Iron Fist in Marvel Comics, and he's also the Iron Fist in Marvel Rivals. If you play Marvel Rivals, you know Lin Lee. Fun fact, Lin Lee already exists in Marvel Snap because before he became Iron Fist, he was Swordmaster. So in Snap, he's a 2/2 with, on reveal, add the Sword of Fuji, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Fuji, to another location. What's the Sword of Fuji, you might ask? It's the sword he used as Swordmaster. Fuji was his ancestor, supremely powerful mystic, wielded the sword, got passed down through the generations. The Sword of Fuji actually ended up being shattered, and the shards of it got embedded in Lin Lee's hands and arms. Still allowed him to channel the powers of those. He got rendered unconscious in the explosion that shattered the sword. He washed up on the shores of Kunlun. He was taken in by the monks there, and he was nursed back to health and was granted the power of Iron Fist on top of the power of the Sword of Fuji that he still has embedded in his hands and arms. In Snap, the Sword of Fuji is a 2/2 with ongoing. If Lin Lee Iron Fist is here, he has +7 power. God damn. So he goes from a 2/2 to a 2/9. But it's add the sword to another location. So you have to move him to the sword or move the sword to him. Ghost Spider, Doctor Strange, you know. Still, it's an interesting card, and it'll be interesting to see what decks people come up with to resolve the have to move the sword to him or move him to the sword. Oh yeah, or web swing, yeah. And as you can see now, why I said that this season seems to be dragons and Kunlun themed, because, you know, we've got Lin Lee, the new Iron Fist, as the week 2 card. And a new token with a sword. The week 3 card is Fin Fang Foom, an alien dragon whose name translates to he whose limbs shatter mountains and whose back scrapes the sun. Now, he's an alien shapeshifter, right? This is his like normal appearance is this. He's an alien shapeshifter who was part of an exploratory team that crashed on Earth. While the rest of the crew assumed human form to blend in and spy on mankind, Fin Fang Foom was placed in hibernation in the ship. in ancient China, he was awoken, and basically he was the originator of Chinese dragon mythology. And over the years, he's been a menace to various heroes and things like that. But he was also, he was once a chef for the Fantastic Four. I'm not even kidding. This is a thing that happened in the comics. He was the resident chef of the Baxter Building. But in Snap, he is a 7/12. With on reveal, gain the power of front row enemy cards here. That's kind of nuts because he's already 12 power. Already 12 power, but he's 7 costs, so you have to come up with a way to get him on the board, despite the fact that he costs 7. We know now there's plenty of ways to do this, right? I mean, apart from cost reduction cards, you know, you've got magic and all that sort of card. Most Snap players know how to get a 7 cost card into play. So the fact that he's 12 plus whatever the front row enemy cards here are, he could get to be a pretty large boy. Yeah, this is going to be a fun card, I think. This is going to be a really fun card. Although he's definitely Shang-Chi bait. So yeah, he's the week 3 card. The week 3 card for January. Week 4 is Shang-Chi, Master of the Rings. So Shang-Chi gets another card in Snap. Shang-Chi needs no introduction. We all know him. And if you're a Snap player, you love to hate him. So this new card, Master of the Rings, is a 3/4 with game start. The 10 rings starts in your hand. On reveal, unlock their potential. What's the 10 rings? These are the 10 rings. What's their potential? Well, they're a 2/0. End of turn, give one of your other cards here +1 power. So the 10 rings starts in your hand. So he's another game start card, but when you play him, it unlocks the potential of the 10 rings. Also, fun fact, the 10 rings were actually, in the comics at least, they were the power source of Fin Fang Foom and his crew's spacecraft. They actually contained the souls of dead McLuhans. The Fin Fang Foom's race was known as the McLuhans. They were from Maklua. And each of the rings basically had a different ability. Like, one could project ice beams, another one could project fire, another one could project force beams, stuff like that. In the MCU, they were very different. They were wielded, the rings of power were wielded by the Mandarin. In the comics, the rings were wielded by the Mandarin too, but they were very different rings. So yeah, interesting card. So another end of turn card. So yeah, so here's the week, what was that? The week 1, 2, 3, that was the week 4. Week 4 card for January. Another token one. But that's not it for January. There's also some limited time event cards. This is Dragon Lord. He can control dragons. He hasn't been seen a lot in the comics, as far as I'm aware. Not a lot of appearances, but he can control dragons. I'm not sure whether it's the staff that lets him control dragons or not. But in Snap, he's a 5/5 with on reveal, put a card from your hand here. Pretty basic ability. So he is a limited time event card at the end of January. But then there's also Dragon Man, who's been data mined at Series 4. So he could also be a limited time event card. Now, Dragon Man, I believe, is an android. Started out as an enemy of the Fantastic Four. But he ended up overcoming his programming and ended up becoming an ally to the Fantastic Four. In Snap, though, Dragon Man is a 4/6 with end of turn. +1 power for each location that's full on your side. So, zoo card, anyone? Dragon Zoo? So yeah, it just says datamined Series 4. It doesn't say limited time event. Like, Dragon Lord says limited time event. But this one doesn't. This just says Series 4. And the date's a placeholder because it says 2028. So, and there's also Brand of Xiao Lao, which is another datamined Series 4 with a placeholder date. And this is the brand I was talking about when someone is able to beat Xiao Lao in combat, he bestows upon them his brand, which infuses them with the power of the Iron Fist. It's a 1-cost skill with, on reveal, one of your other cards here steals 2 power from the character that costs the most in your opponent's hand. So yeah, so that's another Series 4 card, Datamined. And even though it's got a placeholder, I'm speculating that it's part of the January season, same as Dragon Man, because it's a Dragon / Kunlun themed season, and this is a Dragon card, and this is a Kunlun card, and Dragon related. We also have Dragon Breath, which is another Series 4 Datamined card with a placeholder date that I'm assuming is part of the January season because it's a Dragon card, and more specifically, it's Xiao Lao on the card. It's another skill, but this one's a 4-cost with, on reveal, give a 5-cost or higher character in your hand +3 power, afflict an enemy card at each location with -2 power. That's pretty big. And that is all of the cards that have been data mined for the January season. So again, just to recap, we've got Xiao Lao as the Season Pass card, Dragon of the Moon as the Super Premium Season Pass card. We also get Lockheed, Majestic Wingbeat skill, Lin Li Iron Fist with the Sword of Fuji token, Fin Fang Foom, Shang-Chi Master of the Rings with the 10 Rings token card, Dragon Lord, Dragon Man, Brand of Xiao Lao, and Dragon Breath. They're all your cards for January. So Dragon / Kunlun themed season. I am excited. I am excited mostly because of this guy. He's one of my all-time favorite characters. And I guess I'm going to become, like, they've designed him to work with Kitty. And yeah, he also seems to work with like, he's an end of turn card, he's an Athena card, he's an Afflict card. So yeah, I'm super excited for him. But this is not all that's been data mined. We also have some teasers at some February cards. Now, these don't have any art, and I don't think they have abilities either. But given the given the names of the cards, it looks like we're getting a Guardians of the Galaxy season in February. And we're getting another Star-Lord card. This is Star-Lord, Master of the Sun. He ended up being fused with his element gun and gaining elemental powers. It's trippy as shit. In Snap, it's a 4/5 with, on reveal, next turn you get +1 energy for each turn you've ended with unspent energy. Interesting. And it says here it's been data mined as the Season Pass card for February. So yeah, very much a Guardians themed season for February with Star-Lord Master of the Sun as the Season Pass card. But then we also have Magus. Now this is potentially the Premium Season Pass card, or Super Premium Season Pass card. The Magus, as you'll know, we just had him added to Marvel Rivals as a costume for Adam Warlock. The Magus was originally a Adam Warlock from the future that was twisted into evil. But when the Warlock of our reality was able to end the Magus's timeline, the Magus was thought, like, wiped from existence. However, when Adam came into possession of the Infinity Gauntlet, he sought to purge himself of emotions so that he could manage wielding the gauntlet. And he inadvertently recreated the Magus from the evil part of his soul. The good part of his soul ended up becoming a being known as the Goddess as well. So the Magus is basically evil Adam Warlock, right? In Snap, he's been data mined as a 3/5 with activate, copy the text of a character in your deck with cost equal to your unspent energy. That's wild. Copy the text of a character in your deck with cost equal to your unspent energy. So turn 4, you activate him, he gets the text of a 4-cost card in your deck. Oh my god, this could be a substitute Galactus. If you have 6 unspent energy and Galactus is the only 6-cost card in your deck. So on turn 4, make sure you have 6 energy, activate Magus, Magus copies Galactus. But then he's a 3/5. So you've only got a 5-power Galactus. But still, I am intrigued. Yeah, I'll be keen to see what decks people come up with for this one. If it stays like this, because again, data mines, all subject to change. Everything we've just gone over, all subject to change. But yeah, so he's potentially the super premium season pass card for February. But then we also get Moondragon. She could be the super premium season pass card for February. We don't know, but she's been data mined for the first week of February as a season 5. So, and this is the Moondragon we just talked about before. Daughter of Drax. But in Snap, she's a 2/2 with end of turn. If you played 1 card this turn and spent all your energy, give this +2 power. Oh, this is another fun card. This is another fun ability. I really enjoy stuff like this. This makes for some fun deck building challenges. If you played 1 card this turn and spent all your energy, give this +2 power. See, I like cards that basically give you like a little mission to accomplish, and then if you accomplish the mission, you get a payoff. Like Spider-Man Noir that was released this week. Like, I'm keen to get him and you know, try and complete the challenge. Like Galactus, my favorite card in Snap. He has a challenge that you need to complete in order to get the payoff of him activating. I really wish they would lean into doing this more and less of the add 12 random cards to your deck crap. Yeah, I wish they would do more cards like this, which it looks like they are doing, and less cards that are all random bullshit go. This to me is fun in Snap. Random bullshit is not fun for me in Snap. Speaking of Drax, we get another Drax card. Drax, the Avatar of Life. When Drax was after Douglas was killed by Thanos, and he was reborn into a new body by Thanos' dad Mentor and his granddad Kronos. He was reborn to be basically a living weapon against Thanos. Like his sole purpose was to hunt down and destroy Thanos, because Thanos was considered an avatar of death, and so Drax was created as his opposite, the Avatar of Life. We don't have any abilities, we don't have any cost or power or anything. Yeah, Drax was originally a human. Drax was originally a human named Arthur Douglas. He was a real estate agent who liked to play the saxophone. And Moondragon was his daughter, Heather. His last name is Douglas. His first name is Arthur. So yeah, but in Snap, we no abilities, no cost or power or anything yet. But we're getting a second Drax card. pretty much cementing the fact that it's a Guardians themed season. We also have a card for Kraglin. You'll know Kraglin from MCU Guardians. I don't believe Kraglin is from the comics. I'm pretty sure he was created for the MCU. I think he's been added to the comics since. Oh no. He was from the comics. Oh, there you go. He was from 1963 comic. And that's a very different looking Kraglin to what we got. But okay, so there you go. So I just learned something today myself. MCU Kraglin was based on a comic book alien named Kraglin. He had multifaceted eyes that allowed him to see in various directions simultaneously. But he wasn't a bug, he was a humanoid. Yeah, interesting. He did eventually join present-day Yondu's crew of Guardians in the comics too. Yeah. So, but yeah, in Snap, he's a 3/2 with on reveal, banish the top card of your deck. If its cost was 4 or more, +2 energy next turn. Otherwise, get +4 power. Also, datamined is the Yaka arrow. Now, that's the arrow that Yondu used to use with and controlled by whistling. And that's what Kraglin was learning to use after Yondu's death in the MCU. It's not been, we have no abilities or anything for it yet, but yeah, it's been datamined. So yeah, Yaka arrow's been datamined. We also have Jack Flag. Jack Flag was Jack Harrison. He and his brother Drake were members of Captain America's computer hotline network, who would like report in with crimes and stuff like that, to let Cap know so that he could go and foil them. Inspired by Cap, he undertook weightlifting and martial arts and created himself the costumed identity of Jack Flag, modeled himself after Captain America, ended up running afoul of Mr. Hyde, and was doused in the chemicals that transformed, that empowered Mr. Hyde, and was given super strength himself. And then later on, eventually, he ended up joining the Guardians for a time. In Snap, he's been datamined as a 3/3 with ongoing. Your cards here with increased power get +2 power. I like that that's a reference to Jack getting super strength in the comics as well. I like that. That fits thematically. So yeah, cards here with increased power get +2 power, and we know it's easy to get increased power, so that's cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. We also get one of the OG Guardians. Well, he joined the OG Guardians. This was like in the future Guardians, not the present Guardians. In Snap, he's a 2/2 with on reveal. Give your cards at the left location +1 power on odd turns. Switches to the right on even turns. Love it. This is fun. This is cool. This makes for an interesting, not only an interesting deck building scenario, but also like where you play the card. Because like you would want to play him. You would want to play him at either the left or right location, so he also gets power boost. Geez, imagine this in a Sebastian Shaw. Like in a Sebastian Shaw type deck. So yeah, this is going to be fun. This one will be fun. If it stays this way, because data mines, right? We also get Major Victory. Now, Major Victory was the costumed identity of Vance Astro. He was another member of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the future. If he was from the present, Vance Astro was an astronaut from the present. He was sent on a space mission to another star system. He was placed in cryogenic suspension, but he didn't get woken up until the very far future, where he encountered the Guardians of the Galaxy. He ended up joining them, and then he ended up also finding the original Captain America's shield. And he used that in his guise as Major Victory. But in Snap, he's a 3/4 with, on reveal, add 2 Guardians of the Galaxy to your hand. This is cool. So they can flag various characters as being Guardians of the Galaxy like a faction. And here's the cards that, wait, it's got to be more than that. So we got Gamora, Groot, Mantis, Rocket, Drax, Star-Lord. But what about Star-Lord, Master of the Sun? What about Drax, Avatar of Life? What about characters like Marta? Marta was a Guardian. Jack Flag was a Guardian. Doctor Doom was a Guardian. Cosmic Ghost Rider was a Guardian. Iron Man was a Guardian. Captain Marvel was a Guardian. Kitty Pryde was a Guardian. The Thing was a Guardian. That would be, that would be interesting if, they went the whole hog and did like, okay, all of these characters have been Guardians. So yeah, but that's a cool ability. I like that. We could probably have a new Professor X card that's like, add 2 X-Men to your hand. We could have another Captain America card that's, assemble 2 Avengers to your hand, stuff like that. That's cool. That's really cool. I like that they're doing that. This has been datamined Series 4 as well, so it could be an event card. But we've also got Bug. Bug was one of the Micronauts. The Micronauts were from the extra-dimensional plane known as the Microverse. He was a humanoid insect-like alien that ended up joining a bunch of other characters from the Microverse in rebelling against the evil Baron Karza, and they formed the team known as the Micronauts. Now, to my understanding, most of the Micronauts were actually licensed characters from Hasbro, but Bug was a Marvel creation. No abilities, no stats, data mined at Series 4 currently. But yeah, so that's what's been data mined for February. There's also another new game mode coming in February, which seems to be like a versus mode. Yeah, here, Team Clash, they're calling it. It looks like Team Clash. Because there's all these cards here with Team Clash above it. And then you've got here, like, choose your champion. You choose a team, like Avengers, X-Men, Thunderbolts, Brotherhood, Guardians, Spider Society. And then, yeah, you pick a champion and away you go. Yeah, and it looks like the cards all have different abilities. Like, Team Clash Jubilee has add the top card of your deck to this location, give it power equal to Jubilee's power. Hulk Avengers on reveal, +2 for each friendly Avenger here. I'm not going to go through all these. I will link this to folks on Twitch and YouTube afterwards. You can go through this yourself. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all this. But yeah, so I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't miss any cards. Like I said, we've got January season is Dragon / Kunlun themed. February season is Guardians of the Galaxy themed. I don't think I missed any. This is inevitable. Yeah, this is all based. This is all the Team Clash mode. Oh, Aurora's getting a buff from 6/5 to 6/6. Yeah, and then we've got a lot of card backs here. Jeez, we've got Fin Fang Foom, Infinite Fin Fang Foom. I was really hoping it was going to be Infinite Lockheed. I was so hoping it was going to be Infinite Lockheed. But regardless, Lockheed gets a card back. And then we also have Mystique and Ultron card backs. That must be from maybe that Team Clash mode. And a bunch of like new cards and variants. That's all from Clash mode. Yeah, again, I'm not going to go through all of these. I will link this in chat, and you guys can go through this. That's a sick Nightcrawler variant. I really like that. Don Aguilo. Oh, it's a Conquest variant. Hey, might be playing some Conquest next month. I want that Nightcrawler variant. That's sick. Ultimate variant. Yeah, Conquest variant. There we go. Sick. All right. And again, yeah, I'm not going to go through all of these bundles, but I do want to see if there's any titles. There should be some titles, surely. Yep, here we go. Titles. Let's see what we got. See if there's any good ones. Jesus Christ, I'm not seeing good ones. Nope. Nope. Not seeing any good ones. Jeez, okay. There is not a single good one in all. Oh my god. That's terrible. Not a single good one. Good lord. Alright. Yeah, alright. That looks to be everything. Alright, so that seems to be everything for January and February.